In this video, we are going to go back in time, specifically to the 15th of April, 2024, which is the date of the 29th WNBA draft. And knowing what we know now, how would things change? Now, before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel. It would really help, really pushing for 10K. As well, if you deem the video worthy, please give it a like. And a quick shout out to Brain Drain. Thank you for the $2 tip super chat. I have already used it to get a $1.50 maca from Mackers. So I am caffeinated and let's get into this. Here we go. I am going to start from the number 9 pick and work my way back up to number 1. And I did that essentially because I wanted to give Kate Martin a shout out. So with the number 9 pick, Kate Martin goes to the Dallas Wings. She's averaging 3.6 points per game, 2.1 rebounds, 1.1 assists. Her effective field goal percentage is 49%. She's shooting 39% from 3 on 2 attempts per game. She's averaging 15.5 minutes per game. For the Aces, she's over-delivered. I reckon if the Dallas Wings were able to do it again, they would take Kate Martin if she was there. And that's the question. With the number 8 pick, I say Minnesota sticks with Alisa Peely. But this is debatable as Peely's stats have not been as good as she's averaging 2.1 points per game, just under 1 assist and 1 rebound per game. Her effective field goal shooting percentage is 59.5%. She's shooting 38.5 from three-point range. In her limited minutes in garbage time, so she's averaging 5.2 minutes per game. She has done okay. And basically, Cheryl Reeves uses her for particular matchups. I think she's still happy with this pick, and that's what she was always planning for Peely, to sort of be a puzzle piece for different matchups. So I am going to say that Minnesota would stand by their Peely pick. Now at number 7, Chicago. I am sure they are happy with Angel Reese at number 7, but I don't think now in this new future reality she would still be there. So I think they would take J.C. Sheldon, as she's averaging 5 points, 1.8 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists. Her effective field goal shooting percentage is 50%, and she's shooting 40% from 3. She is getting more minutes now, so she's currently averaging 19.4 minutes for Dallas. And I think Chicago would take Sheldon, as she would be the best player available on the board. Now, number 6, the Washington Mystics. In my opinion, if the draft was redone today, Cameron Brink would still be on the board at number 6. Brink's numbers before her ACL injury are fine. She averaged 7.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game. Her efficient field goal shooting percentage is 44.7%, and she could shoot the 32% from three-point range. So in a lot of ways, she is that magical unicorn. All teams are looking for a big that can shoot outside and go inside. My problem is probably a bit of childhood trauma, as I am a Houston Rockets fan, and when I see Cameron Brink, I did this in my doppelganger video that I did on college players who remind me of NBA players, and she so much reminds me of Ralph Sampson. Like Cameron Brink, Ralph Sampson injured his left knee. Now the injuries are totally different. Cameron Brink has an ACL injury and she should make a full recovery, whereas Sampson tore his meniscus and they took the damn thing out. They left varnish on the floor, removing polish from a dance troupe that had come in earlier. They didn't get all the turpentine off the floor and Sampson slipped and shredded his meniscus. And back in the day, they was like, simple solution to this, let's just remove the meniscus and you'll be ready for the playoffs and have it bone on bone. No doubt that's why he developed arthritis within 5 years of his NBA career. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case for Cameron Brink, but she is long and gangly, and I see so many similarities with Sampson, those tall, really tall players that have that finesse game and work on speed, trying to get to the basket and things like that. It just never seems to go well, and that's my fear for her. Now, hopefully I have this wrong and she goes on to be the greatest WNBA player of all time, and I'm having to do an apology video in 2 years' time, which is fine by me. But that is my prediction of where I would take her. Now, number 5, Dallas. They get a redo, and they get it right this time. They take Aliyah Edwards, who's averaging 8.5 points, points, 6.2 rebounds, and 1.2 assists. She's efficient at 47%. Even without the hindsight of time, this was the correct pick that Dallas originally should have made, as they have Natasha Howard, who will be an unrestricted free agent, as well as Satou Sabally. Not only that, Dallas already has $200K tied up in Tierra McCowan, as well as Kalani Brown. They have $128K invested in her over the next 2 years till 2026. So taking Edwards would have given them that flexibility to bring in a different player that's different from McCowan and Brown, and would allow them to be sure that they could core Satou Sabally and bring her back and cover their bases. Instead, they reach on JC Sheldon, and now they're in all sorts of trouble, because Uzan and Sheldon are developing at the point. And again, using the time machine, you would have seen that Natasha Howard was going to be out, and it would have been nice to stick Aliyah Edwards in there and have that coverage when she was down with her injury. With the number 4 pick, the LA Sparks still take Riki Jackson, who I think would still be there. She is developing just nicely. She's at 10 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists. She's efficient at 49%, effective field goal shooting percentage, and her minutes are building at 25 minutes per game. With the number 3 pick, the Chicago Sky take Camilo Cardoso. She has struggled with her shoulder injury, which gave her a delayed start, but she's come back well. She's currently averaging 8.4 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 1.2 assists. Her effective shooting percentage is 44%. She's averaging 25 minutes per game. I think ultimately Riki Jackson might wind up being a better player than her, but it's a line ball call, which I don't think we'll know the answer for about 3 years. But I think Chicago still would have gone with Cardoso because they needed size, as Alana Smith got away to the Minnesota Lynx. Now the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft, the LA Sparks take, yeah, you know what it is, Angel Reese. As everything that she did at LSU, she is now doing in the WNBA. She's scoring at 13.9 points, averaging 11.7 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and her effective field goal shooting percentage, yes, it's low at 41%, but the hope with that is that it would improve over time. I think I worked it out the other day. Her true shooting is like 47 or 46% as she gets to the free throw line so often. I am sure WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert would have been quite happy if it would have gone down this way, as it would have set up the whole Bird versus Magic, the Indiana team versus the LA team. No disrespect, Chicago. I know you love Angel and you're happy to have her, but man, if it would be redone now, I believe Angel Reese would be in LA, living her Barbie life out of her Barbie house in LA. And that leaves the number 1 pick, Caitlin Clark, going to the Fever. She is averaging 16 points, 5.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists. Now the negatives that many will point out, she turns over the ball too much at 5.6 per game, and her defense is non-existent. But the funny thing is, if you look at her numbers, they're very similar to Diana Taurasi in her rookie year in 2004. Take a look. So Caitlin Clark's averaging 16 points. Taurasi averaged 17 points. Clark's effective field goal shooting percentage is a little bit higher at 50% versus Taurasi that was 47% over the year. So yes, I think Caitlin Clark is doing just fine and will have a very, very good WNBA career. More importantly, she is handling all the drama of being Caitlin Clark better than anybody. That includes her coach as well. So there you go. That is my redraft of the 2024 WNBA draft. Now it's over to you. What do you think I've gotten right, and what do you think I have gotten wrong? As well, do you want me to go back to the future and take a sneak peek of the 2025 WNBA draft? Let me know.